Yes, this is my mould for my my Blackwater tank. I've got one of these for each side, so not very stimulating conversation right now. I'll give you the drum. G'day guys, welcome back. This particular video is about me making a mould for my Blackwater tank. It was simply an 80 litre tank that wasn't going to achieve the volume I require for a bunch of people on a boat, so I decided to set about making a mould for this tank to make both tanks for both sides of the boat. And the access for this is underneath the port shower head, as you can see here in the picture. So this is the mould making process, and have a good one. The Blackwater tank template that I made once I went and got a quote was going to be around about, including senders and pickup straws and the like, was going to be around about 1,000 Australian dollars per tank. I made the decision that I was going to use the templates of the hull profile to make a separate tank. Now this is pretty important because you'll notice the size of this particular tank here. Once I lay it over the template, you can see here I'm going to gain a fairly significant amount of volume, and also I can make it out of fiberglass, and I've just got to make sure the corners are rounded on the inside and that it's braced correctly. But what I've done is I've started the process over here of laminating a flat sheet of gel coated fiberglass. Now I'm only going to put 2 layers on it, because what I want to do is I want to pull this off this flat sheet of steel that I've got here. It's galvanized sheet. I'm going to lift this panel off once it's set, and then I'm going to wrap it around this floor template here and make it a shape so I can actually derive a mould from it. Now it's not going to be an ultra thick one, but you got to remember I've got to actually do the outside of the mould so that I can pull the inside out. So I've got to make this smaller than the physical template that I have here. So I'll be deriving a new template which will allow room for this particular tank to just nestle in place. I should end up with around about 100 litres per side by doing this, so getting that extra volume by using the hull shape. I won't have to do much supporting to block it in, and I'll probably save around about about $1,700 or $1,800 by doing it this way myself. The lid will be a foam core solid lid, and the inside will then be completely gel coated and essentially sealed from microbial action and the like inside the tank. Okay, so to form the inner liner of my Blackwater tank, I've laid up a sheet of just a flat glass, but it's been gel coated because I want the smoothest possible surface. So what I do is I lay it up on this flat sheet of gal steel I've got, which is almost a dead flat surface, and then just 2 layers of 300. I don't want it any thicker than that. The reason why is that I need this to be able to flex to the outside of the mould. Now there's not much smoother surface than a gel coat surface, so I'm using this to prepare my mould. And over here I've got my 2 templates. These are the 2 ends of the tank, and you can see here this is the original tank I've sort of templated up. And the reason why I did this one is because I want it to resemble the one that was in the commercial version of my boat. But I've figured that I'm going to get around about 20 or 30 litres more very, very easily by using the hull shape. The difference in the amount of volume I'm going to basically achieve just by making a mould from the template of my hull. Very important, however, with a Blackwater tank that it is separate to the hull, because there's nothing worse than having poo in a tank and not being able to clean it out properly. So this is actually a separate entity. My freshwater tanks are actually going to be integrated. I've decided to integrate them into the hull. That way I get best capacity, and you know, if it leaks water, big deal. If it leaks poo, is a big deal. So I'm basically going to continue to make this mould. Now how I'm going to do that, I've cut these strips here, and I'm going to create a mould that essentially I can then lay up the outside of this mould. Will in turn form the inside of my Blackwater tank. So there's a bit of a process involved, and it took a little bit of thinking to get this idea, but it's going to be the best solution. And to be honest, it's going to cost me less than $100 with probably a day's work to achieve a tank that would have cost me probably $1,000 and to get custom made. So yeah, all these little things add up in the grand scheme of a big boat like I'm building. Now I am very limited for space, so it has to resemble the same sort of profile as the other tank, but this, that will be obviously the top, and then this flat sheet that I've laminated over here, I will wrap around, forming a gel coat surface on the outside, which therefore will be the polished surface of the mould. It was a bit touch and go there because it was going to fall over and that would have been an absolute disaster, but yeah, pretty much that's the outside of the mould there, and then I'm going to place that very thin fiberglass layer on it, and then we can derive the inside of the Blackwater tank from this particular mould. So you'll notice here I've actually inset it about 2 millimeters. By doing that, then the gel coat will be flush with the outside template there, and then I'm going to round off the MDF probably with a router, because I want a beautiful radius on this, and I'm going to brace this up once it's all glued and set, once I can sort of get to it and make it a bit easier to work with. But I don't want any sharp corners inside this mould, and you want to ensure that you're going to get good release. So that's the plan. So I laid up this flat sheet around about 4 hours ago. It's probably still a little bit not ready to come off, but I'm going to demold it because I've got to get going. I've just found the separating line here with my spatula, and I'm going to give it a bit of a run through. See if I can just take it off the mould here. All about being gentle with demoulding, so I'll give it a bit of a... Remembering this isn't cured yet, this is only just gone off, so it's still very, very green. But basically sliding this in between the surface here. And I've got a perfect surface under here. Okay, so that's now off the mould effectively, and I've got a perfect white gel coat finish, which pretty happy with that. That's you know, half an hour's work, and I've got the exact material I need to wrap around my mould here. Now I could have gone and bought a piece of Laminex or something. It would have cost me probably, I don't know, $30-40 for a piece of Laminex this size. But I've made this in probably less than an hour, and the nice thing about this is gel coat is perfect for making moulds. If you can do a mould out of gel coat, you're better off to do that than some other foreign material that won't be appreciated by the chemicals you're going to add to it, i.e. PVA and certainly gel coat and resins and the like. So I've got my mould form here. What I need now is to get the gel coat panel to actually cover it. Now I'm going to have to join it in the centre here, and that's okay because I want to have a bit of a line down the centre here where I can join this material and glue it down. Yep, I think that's, look at that, beautiful. And that's actually exactly what I was trying to achieve. Fantastic. So I've got it clamped here. It's actually beautiful and flexible. It's exactly sort of what I wanted. You can see here I'm going to have to actually cut it across the centre here, but then I can adjust it back as long as I get a reasonably square cut. But because it doesn't reach all the way round, I've got to use the other side. So I need two exact pieces that'll join here right in the centre. So my plan is to glue this on. I'm going to go and get my methacrylate gun and bog this on. So I think I'm all set. I'm going to run a bead of this methacrylate along all of these battens here. Put the fiberglass on, the fiberglass sheet, and then I'm going to strap it on and then leave it overnight. I'm not really sure how this is going to go, but it should go okay. there'll be plenty of spread, I know that much. And this stuff does not like gel coat. Stick here, get it all over my tie downs. Just do it lightly for the moment because I just want it to hold in place. I'm back. Went out for a bit of a haircut because I'm going overseas in a few days, and I'm back to do this. And that was only like 3 hours ago. That methacryl, it just goes off like that. You've got 6 minutes working time and about 2 hours, and you've got a reasonable cure, enough to be able to come and play with it again. You can see here we've got the first half of the mould is done. That's perfectly smooth, ready, fair, don't need any more. All I've got to do is route this and basically tidy it up, and I can pull product off it. So not a lot of work in making moulds, but certainly you need to think about it before you go ass first into it, because if you don't, you're going to end up with the reverse of what you really need often, and I've done that. I've done that a couple of times. So I'm going to put this other side on. So once I had the thing all together, I took it out into the yard and routed the corner or radius on each of the faces, and then continued to sand and polish the MDF until I had a really nice round surface. And the key to this is that this is actually inside of the tank, so I don't want any areas where it'll catch material. And then I masked the edges and sanded the edge of around about 1 centimetre of the gel coat, to enable me to be able to lay flow coat onto the surface of the MDF and also onto the top part of the gel coat that I'd already laid, so that I could blend that back in. It's important that that blends, because it was filling the gap in between the battens and the gel coat. Now I also used a small amount of polyester Q-cell mix underneath, just as a filler to fill in the gaps prior to me doing the gel coat. But you can see me here when I'm pulling the masking tape off. I've got a really smooth edge there, and I was able to then polish that back to do almost a perfect finish, which enabled me to then be able to wax it up and make a mould out of it. But for now, I was heading off to Mexico, and here's a little bit of our trip. We had an awesome trip, and I'm just going to put the US part of it on this one and the Mexico part on the next trip. So have a great one, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this bit. Thanks, bye. Good morning, everyone. Janet and I are off to Mexico today. We're here, that's the harbour bridge you can see right there. We're tight-ass travellers. We're catching the train today. It's going to cost about $3 rather than 80 in a cab. So we've done about a 2K walk. We're a bit hot, aren't we? Yeah, a bit hot with our luggage. What up? Hey, holidays. LAX, it's freezing. It's like never been here in winter before. Pretty cool. 10 degrees. We just arrived 7 AM at Marina DelRay, and they've got us into a room straight off the cuff. We thought might have to wait till about 3 PM, walk around, but check this out. Yes, that was awesome. We got a bit of an Expedia deal last minute, and I'm pretty happy with that. So that's Marina DelRay down there, and it's going to be absolutely magic. So we're going to go and have a little sleep now, because we've been on the go for 24 hours travelling, and we're cactus. So that's it. We're having a sleep. Venice Beach, honey. We're here. It's pretty wild. It's great fun. You know, when I was a young guy, I used to always want to skate Venice Beach. I'm here. Not really sure I'd like to skate it now. Looks a bit dangerous, but you know, some things just don't change. And I think this place hasn't changed in 50 years. Good fun, eh? Heading down to Santa Monica Pier. It's been a bit of a walk. We got a bit lost. Well, that's what we do, you know. You turn off your Google Maps and you just walk until you're freaking knackered. Santa Monica Pier. Living the childhood dreams, eh? We've been walking for about, what, 3 hours? I'm knackered. We haven't had any brekkie and it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so we're a little bit hungry. We're going to go and fetch some food. And I reckon we should be able to get some pretty good greasy stuff up there. What do you reckon?
No, we'll come find out.
Should be good on jet lag. It's like a hangover. Here we go. It's the way the world is. Fighting over the scraps. Want some shrimp, Captain Dan? As the sun sets on the Santa Monica Pier, I can safely say I've been walking for 20 kilometres and I'm rooted. But it's a gorgeous afternoon. Janet's storming ahead. Wow. Oh, I'm just walking out onto Venice Pier and it is cold, cold, cold. What do you reckon? It's pretty chilly, isn't it? It's like 5 degrees. Freaking hell, it's cold. I didn't know LA got this cold. It's been a bit of a cool day. Come to LA where it never gets cold and never rains, eh? It's bloody cool. Tonight is cold. It's been a nice walk out here, very brisk. Come from 40 degrees to 4. It's not that cold, but it's cold. It is winter. Alright, let's go and have a drink, eh? We're going to have a drink? Okay, let's go have a drink. How good was that? For a margarita? Nice. We're at the Venezuela. We're not in Venezuela, we're at the Venezuela. Having a couple of beers on Venice Beach. Pretty cool. Nice little vibe happening here. Janet's about to sing a margarita, so I think we're going to be okay. Honey, next time we come to LA, can we hire a car? Fair income has walked me from one end of the world to the other. My feet are killing me.
Who wanted to hire a car and who didn't?
Did you want to hire a car?
You know I did.
It's the 100k walk in LA, honestly. We have walked and walked and walked. With jet lag, mind you, I think that's pretty cool. We did like 40 k's yesterday. I'd like to say we were staying at the Ritz-Carlton, but we're not, are we, honey? We're not rich enough for that. We're building a boat. There's some money sat in this place though. It is just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable, Marina DelRay. I've never seen so many boats in one place. I guess it's the same as Sydney Harbour. It'd be scattered all over the harbour with just as many boats, but it's incredible how much yachting real estate is here. If you haven't been here, you got to come and check it out. It's indescribable, the amount of boats that are here. Isn't this thing just gorgeous? Look at this. That's the boat of the Marina, I reckon. Look at it. It's fantastic. It's in immaculate condition. It's beautiful. Scappoose, Oregon. Absolutely beautiful boat. Hey bro, give me a cuddle. fighting over the pier. Oh, got smashed. Just watched about half an hour of these guys having a bit of biffo. Love it. This guy over here that's a bit exhausted, he was just attacking these guys. It was friggin' fantastic. Here he goes. He's annoyed. He's on steroids, this guy. Great. So for our last night in Los Angeles, we met up with one of our viewers, Cliff Jamison, who contacted me while I was there. We were able to catch up and have a couple of drinks with him, and had a really nice night. It was great to meet you, Cliff, and you know, here's a shout out to your buddy, and we'll hopefully catch you next time we're in LA, which could be a while, but you know, it was great to catch up with you nonetheless. Catch you, buddy.